Hello everybody, Corey from the MTG Place here. I am going to do a quick Final Fantasy Prerelease Primer, so you guys are ready to go for the pre-release this weekend. I will be playing all 3 days, because I love Limited. So for those of you that don't know, what is a pre-release? Pre-release obviously is you get to play with the cards a week early. In the kit this time, you'll get 6 play boosters of Final Fantasy, a foil stamped rare mythic card, a deck box, and a spin down die, and 1 in 20 will contain a special pre-release die. So let's go over to deck building. If you don't know, for pre-release is a 40 card deck minimum. You probably play about 17 lands. You definitely want a decent mana curve, as they describe here. And then you want to build around your rares plus your signpost uncommons, which I will go through here. That will be the draft archetypes. The draft archetypes for Final Fantasy are blue-white artifacts, black-blue control, red-black mage aggro, green-red landfall aggro, green-white go wide, black-white artifact and creature sacrifice, red-blue big non-creatures, green-black graveyard value, red-white equipment aggro, and green-blue town ramp. So for white-blue artifacts, the signpost uncommons here are Titus, the Blitzball Star, which is 1 a white and a blue. For a legendary creature, it's a 2/1 human warrior. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1 counter on Titus, and whenever Titus attacks, you could tap target creature and opponent controls. So you're just going on a bunch of artifacts with him, obviously. And then Sid, Timeless Artificer, is 2 blue, 2 white and a blue. For a 4/4 legendary creature, human artificer. Artifact creatures and heroes you control get +1/+1 for each artificer you control and each artificer card in your graveyard. And you can have any number of Sids in your deck. And it has cycling for a blue and a white. So what's cool about Sid is he is in every Final Fantasy game since number 2. So there's like 15 different arts of him. And you can open any of the arts, and you can play as many as you want of the Sids. So hopefully you open a whole bunch of Sids. It'd be sweet to have a deck of just like Sid, 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 Sid. Although they are legendary, so you can only have like one out, but at a time. But it is pretty good. So yeah, so that's blue-white. You want to assemble a massive board of artifacts, including artifact creatures, equipment, treasures, more. Obviously, Titus gets stronger as you create more artifacts, and Sid, the Timeless Artificer, supports a wide battlefield of artifact creatures. All right, so blue-black control has, I'm probably going to butcher this name because I haven't played this Final Fantasy, but Locky Cole. Lock Cole. I don't know. So it's a legendary creature, human rogue with death touch and lifelink, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you can get draw discard. So nice looter effect on a 2/3 creature. And then the other signpost uncommon is Ultimecia the Time Sorceress, just 3 blue and a black for a 4/5 legendary creature human warlock. Whenever Ultimecia enters or attacks, surveil 2. And at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 4 blue, blue, black, black, and exile 8 cards from your graveyard to transform it. And it transforms into Ultimecia Omnipotent. This is a legendary creature, Nightmare Warlock with Menace. When it transforms, take an extra turn after this one, and it's a 7/7. So it's an uncommon that lets you take an extra turn, which is pretty nuts. So that's definitely what you would want to build around in the blue-black control deck. You just want to build a real slow, control-y deck that can eventually get to 8 mana, take an extra turn, and start slamming with a 7/7. That's kind of cool. Definitely kind of cool. And then we have the red-black aggro. So you got Black Walls number 3. It is 2 black and a red for a 2/2 legendary creature wizard with flying and death touch. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Black Walls number 3 deals 2 damage to each opponent. And it is a 2/2 flying death touch. So that's okay. You just want to play a bunch of non-creature spells and kind of damage them. But it's also a 2/2 flyer, so you can kind of fly over the top and get them. Then we have Garland, Knight of Cornelia, which is a red and a black for a 3/2 legendary creature human knight. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you surveil 1. And then you could pay 3 black, black, red, red. Return this from your graveyard to the battlefield transform. So that's way later in the game. You pay 7 and flip him back as a 5/5 Chaos the Endless, which is a 5/5 of flying that when he dies, goes on the bottom of your library. So comes back as a big demon. That's kind of cool. Especially if they kill off your 2 mana 3/2 early. So it's some aggro stuff, with aggro with some non-creature burn spells. Next up, we got red-green landfall aggro, which is green-red. So we got Rydia, Summoner of the Mist, which is a red and a green for a 1/2 legendary creature, human shaman with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And summon, pay X and tap it. Return a saga card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. And then Gladius, 4 red, green for a 6/6 legendary creature, human warrior. When it enters, search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And then landfall, whenever a land you control enters, another target creature you control gets +2/+2 against trample until end of turn. So you're definitely going to want to play a bunch of landfall stuff. So this is a deck where you might consider playing 18 lands, and if there's Evolving Wilds or something like that that searches for lands, you probably play that in this deck. Let's see. Green white is the go wide strategy. So you got Garnet, Princess of Alexandria. It is green and a white for a 2/2 legendary creature, human noble cleric with lifelink. When it attacks, you may remove a lore counter from each of any number of sagas you control, and then put a +1/+1 counter on Garnet for each lore counter removed this way. So you can lower the lore counters to get triggers again from your sagas. And then Renoa Artillery is 3 green and a white for a 4/4 legendary creature, human rebel warlock. When it enters, create Angelo, a legendary 1/1 green and white dog creature token. And whenever Renoa attacks, another target creature you control gets +1 until end of turn for each creature you control. So you want a bunch of creatures so that you can buff the 1/1 token really high. So definitely go wide / saga synergies in green white. All right, then we have white black sacrifice, which is 1 white and a black for a 2/4 legendary creature, human noble. Whenever Rufus attacks, if you don't control a creature named Darkstar, create Darkstar, a legendary 2/2 white and black dog creature token. That's kind of cool. And then Judge Magister Gabaranth is black white for a 2/2 legendary creature, human advisor with menace. And whenever another creature or artifact you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So you're going to want to sack your creatures to make +1/+1 counters, and these two kind of go together because you can attack with Rufus, make the 2/2, sack the 2/2 to put a counter on this, and then attack with Rufus, make the 2/2. Let's see. Then we got blue-red big 9 creatures. So we got Shinato. It is 1 blue and a red for a 0/4 legendary creature, dwarf wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that card. If X is 4 or more, draw a card. So that lets you draw cards if you cast stuff that costs 4 or more. Then we have the Emperor of Palmesia. It is blue-red for a 2/2 legendary creature, human noble wizard. It can tap for a red or a blue for non-creature spells only. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1 counter on it. And then if 3 or more 1/1 counters are on this, you transform it into the Lord Master of Hell, which is a 3/3 demon. With Starfall, whenever it attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard. That's pretty sweet. I like big spells matter, so that's kind of cool. All right, next up we got black-green graveyard value. We got X-Death Void Warlock, which is 1 green and a black for a 3/3 legendary creature, Spirit Warlock. When it enters, you gain 3 life. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 6 or more permanents in your graveyard, you transform it into a star 3 Trampler, equal number of permanents in your graveyard. That's pretty cool, so you can get a big Trampler. Then there's Cloud of Darkness. It is 2 black, green, green for a 3/3 legendary creature avatar with flying. It has Particle Beam. When it enters, target creature and opponent control gets -X/-6 turn, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. So that's pretty sweet too. Then we got the red-white aggro deck. It's equipment aggro this time. So we got Zidane. It's 3 red and a green for a 3/3 legendary creature. When Zidane enters, gain control target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it, it gains lifelink and haste until end of turn. And whenever an opponent gains control of a permanent from you, you make a treasure token. And then Giat, the King of Dwarves, double strike. Whenever him or another dwarf you control enters, and whenever an equipment you control enters, you may discard a card, draw a card. It's pretty cool. Then we have blue-green town ramp. Ignis is 1 green blue for a 2/2 legendary creature, human advisor. When Ignis enters, Well, the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a land card from them on the battlefield tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then I've come up with a new recipe. Pay 1 green and a blue. Tap, exile a card from a graveyard. If a creature card is exiled this way, you make a food token. And then Omega Heartless Evolution. It is an 8/8/5 green blue for a legendary artifact creature robot with wave cannon. When it enters, for each opponent, tap up to 1 target non-land permanent that opponent controls. Put X stun counters on each of those permanents, and you gain X life, or X number of non-basic lands you control. So you're going to play a lot of towns in this deck. Yeah, so find a pre-release. Try and stick to one of these archetypes, I would suggest. That's kind of the main things you need to know in a good 10-15 minutes here. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.